There are people out there changing the way we think, the way we work, the way we live, working every day to leave the planet better than they found it. This podcast is where you can come and meet them, get inspired and learn. Every episode is a real conversation with someone doing that work. I'm Andy Keller. Welcome to the ChicoBag podcast. Today we're joined by Becca, and she built the missing link between brand marketing and real world impact. So Becca, welcome to the program, and please tell us your origin story. How did you get involved in this work?
Yes, no, thank you so much for having me, Andy. Very, very happy to spread the word about what we're doing and what we're building here. So yes, I'm Becca Ruiz. I have spent the last 10 plus years working across sustainability, CSR, and brand marketing. And I kept seeing this disconnect between what impact teams were doing and what marketing was doing. Impact is all about doing, meaningful community driven work, while marketing teams are driving the attention and awareness. And this disconnect really, creates a gap and creates, it really costs real impact, because we need both to be able to, reach the audiences and actually have a tangible difference. So when it comes to my social impact biz, I just kept coming back to this question of, hey, what if when we posted and created content, it wasn't just for awareness, but for, an actual action to take place, to do something. And so, that question turned into Impact to Snap. And now we've rebranded to Post on Purpose, or POP, because we want to be a community of people turning social media into measurable real world impact.
Well, that's great. Because a lot of us scroll, and we're engaging in content, and to transform that into something that actually makes real world difference. That's really cool. So what's the latest and greatest with Pop?
Yes, good question. And I very much to your point, I love what you're saying, because I agree. I think, the doom scrolling and the endless ads is not what people, and especially Gen Z, is craving. They want to feel like something is more participatory, which is exactly what we're trying to do. So in terms of what's happening right now, like I said, we just rebranded, lots of momentum around that, a lot more clarity, because we want to, like I said, be seen as not just a SaaS platform, but a community of people that use social media with more intention, so that every post is, creating content that is then tied back to a measurable outcome, be that a donation or an initiative getting the funding that it needs to keep going. So what we're really focused on right now is we're focusing on working with brands, as well as working in the event space, to turn participation, like the posts and engagement, into those real measurable outcomes. Where we're seeing the most traction is these live events, because you already have the attention of the community. They're already posting, why not have that, why not post on purpose and have that translate into something more tangible? So we're definitely seeing ourselves as an impact layer within these existing ecosystems, to bring that value add of impact measurement and engagement.
So can you give us an example of somebody using Post on Purpose, and what is the action or the impact that they're creating through these social media posts?
Absolutely. I'd love to describe a campaign that we actually have right now that's live. We connected with a brand called Mimo's Coffee. And it's always fun to work with the restaurants or, food systems, because it's very easy for folks to understand, hey, if I post a picture of my food, I'm going to help feed someone. So we've had a couple of campaigns like that, but specifically for Mimo's, Mimo is very passionate about mental health, especially for Black women, as a Black woman herself. And so we partnered with them so that every time somebody is posting their morning coffee, their ritual, how they get ready for the day to prepare, every time they post on Instagram using the hashtag Post on Purpose and Cocoa Coalition, $5 will be sent to the Cocoa Coalition, which is a mental health organization specifically focused on Black women and providing them the resources that they need. So it's been a really fun way to bring people along this narrative of, hey, if you are doing something, or if this affects somebody else, join in on the momentum and be a part of the movement.
Yeah, I that's real impact. I mean, people are posting about what their morning routine is already. So to actually get $5, to someone who needs it without having to do anything other than post something, it's pretty spectacular.
It's very fun. It's great. We're definitely trying to make it understandable for folks that, hey, if you're creating content, you know for a fact that you're getting a donation matched by a sponsor organization. In this case, it was Mimo's Coffee. And we love working with, any organization, be that family offices, foundations, brands, anybody that's trying to get the word out about what they're doing, receive the recognition. A lot of folks don't think about that, but they deserve the recognition for what they do. And yeah, really bring people along that journey of post tag impact and helping them realize what are those measurable outcomes that come out of being part of a campaign.
Awesome. So one of the things I've been talking about is trends. So I'm curious from where you sit, what trends are you seeing that we all should be taking note of and paying attention to?
Yes, this is a really, really good question. I think, what Pop is trying to do is we're definitely trying to be a new category in this in marketing space because we're trying to drive participation based impact, which is a fairly new concept. And one of the reasons we want to do that is because we know that participation is getting a lot more attention than passive content. You're scrolling, you see another ad, this is not engaging people anymore. What's grabbing their attention is, hey, there's a free way I can give back. All I have to do is post a picture. Like this is the kind of thing that people want to feel like they're a part of a community, a part of a movement, instead of, again, just being advertised the same, product, that they're looking for. Another trend, which is really interesting in social media and just the marketing world in general, is that they're being pressured to move beyond what's called vanity metrics. So think of things like likes and impressions. This is what they're measured by. And again, why I had so much trouble connecting with them in my corporate life, because we're measured on such different KPIs. And as they're measured on these vanity metrics, we want to measure real outcomes. Um, so it's been really interesting to see that, leaders want that proof. And this is a way that they can do that. It's also, the era of accountability. A lot of brands out there, if they say, hey, we're doing something nice for charity, people are smart. Customers know now that it's not just, it's can just be PR fluff. They want to know that this is actually doing something meaningful. So bringing that authenticity and that accountability is what we want to be. We want to be that third party that is guaranteeing, hey, if you made content, and it met the criteria of the campaign, you are getting a donation unlocked.
Awesome. So similar question is what are some key challenges, that organizations are facing today?
Yes. From my past life, again, in the corporate space, I would say our biggest trouble, and challenge was around measurement. It was always, hey, let's do something great, but then how do we prove that it did something? And we want to keep those budgets defensible. And so what Pop is it's a way to be able to say, hey, we engaged X amount of people with Y amount of money, and it created, Z outcomes. And this is really, really important because I know for a fact, coming from my world, that if you aren't able to prove these metrics, then you are up for funding being cut the next year. So we want to be that, reason why folks say, yes, we did a campaign and it engaged X amount of people, produced Y amount of outcomes, and raised, Z amount of money. So yeah, we want to make everybody happy in these campaigns, and putting a little structure around it is how we figured out how to meaningfully engage people and then have that translate into real outcomes.
I think you answered my next question, which is, what are the solutions, to some of these problems? So, beyond what you've said, do you have anything else to add?
Yeah, I will say, I think a good call out for folks in the marketing area is that, we're not starting with changing folks' behavior. We wanted this to be an easy add-on. We didn't want to make it a new app because we need to meet people where they're at. People are on Instagram, they're on these big social media channels, and we wanted to make it as simple as possible for them. And I think a lot of tech for good platform services don't, they're trying to be the next big thing, and unfortunately we need to meet people where they're at, and then build from there.
Great. Um, Now people want to get involved with what you're doing. What's the best way to connect with you?
Great question. I will say they can reach out to me directly at any point. I love chatting about any way to get people involved and caring about impact and sustainability. But our website, postonpurpose.co, brand new and shiny. I would love to direct people there. And also our Instagram. So our Instagram account is where these campaigns come to life. So you're able to see, hey, we've partnered with a brand, with a nonprofit, and the pop community is ready to quite literally start posting on purpose, or popping, as I like to say.
So I could go there and start making an impact by, by finding the different options, on Post on Purpose on your Instagram.
Exactly. You can find on our Instagram as well as on the website. You'll see at the top it says public challenges. This
Okay.
is where I mentioned the Mimo's coffee campaign is happening right now, and ideally we're going to have it be a filterable, opportunity. So if you're focused and you care about climate or you care about youth development, we'll have live campaigns to be able to filter on those. That is the goal. And ideally, we're going to, be an entire ecosystem for folks that want to create these campaigns easily, efficiently, and get the data that they need to prove it worked.
Awesome. So final thought, what one piece of advice would you leave people, on how to make a difference? What's your
Ooh.
best advice?
That's a great one. I think, and very much in vein with the ethos of Post on Purpose, is don't feel like small actions can't add up. Our entire model is focused on micro donations and building momentum around participation. And people think that giving has to be, someone writing $1 million check, a large organization, but it's really not. It's a way. If we really want to change hearts and minds, people need to learn about the cause, be able to feel like they can share about it. Because if it's not impacting you, it's probably impacting someone you know. And yeah, we just want to incentivize people to feel like they can do that on social, and eventually turn social media platforms into a more positive, welcoming, community driven place. Because we know right now it can be pretty dark. And, our overall mission and vision is to be a small piece of changing that.
I love that. Yeah. Thank you, Becca, for all the great work you're doing. And thanks for being on the ChicoBag podcast.
I appreciate it, Andy. Thank you all.